The Joe Rogan Experience.
You know, we were talking today earlier while we were at the range about Instagram and about the shit you see on Instagram these days. And then we were talking about how when we were kids, Faces of Death was the wildest thing we'd ever seen. Like, and it was nothing
compared to what you see on Instagram. Nothing. You can go on Instagram and see 1,150. I'm about to get in my soapbox, right?
Yeah, please.
You can go on Instagram and watch 1,150 million people get stabbed, shot, killed, thrown off buildings, and it'll show up on your Explore page.
Right.
I post a picture of a gun. I'm throttled. I don't show up on the Explore page.
I've never seen
nothing.
a gun on my Explore page.
The level of, it's not even, I don't even call it shadow banning anymore. They tell you they're doing it. Mm-hmm. Like, I can't post, I even not post guns. This is the responsible way to handle a firearm. Throttled.
Yeah, no, wow.
Throttled. Like, it's insane on Instagram. Like, what Instagram is doing to the gun community is monumentally insane. So you know what the fucked up part about it is? Because of the way they are about that, the only representation of firearms that you're going to get exposed to, generally speaking, if you're not already following them, are the negative representations of firearms or the unsafe way to handle a firearm.
Yes.
Because those are making it. But the shit that we post, the responsible shit, that doesn't.
Bro, how many videos have you seen of dudes in like traditional Arab attire shooting the guns off in the air and then they accidentally shoot their friend?
Dude.
There's so many of those.
You see way more of
They're
those.
Just dancing, bang! Dude gets it in the head.
Dude, you want to know how
I've seen so many of those.
You want to know how I learned gun safety when I got into guns?
Sure.
Fucking YouTube. Because there were so many examples of people, when I got into guns and I got into the gun community, there were so many people who were iterating over and over and over again. Check your gun. Make sure it's clear. Never point it at something you're not willing to destroy. Guns are always loaded at all times, no matter what. It became ingrained in my brain.
Yes.
Like they almost shamed you into gun safety.
Well, one of the things today was a very good representation of that. Everyone today had responsible gun safety habits. Everyone today. Everyone was pointing the gun at the ground. Everyone's clearing the gun. No one ever pointed a gun in the direction of someone. People were constantly checking. Even after they cleared the gun.
There were literally probably 25 guns out there.
Yeah.
And magazines all over the place.
All over the place.
But like I said, it's establishing that safety dynamic.
Yes.
And you can't, and they talk about, oh man, I'm getting on my soapbox.
Get on.
They talk about, the other side talks about this idea of gun safety, firearm safety. And the way they go about doing it is by blocking off all the people who are teaching the safe way to handle a firearm. I don't understand this. If you want to have a population, we have 400 million guns in this country. The guns aren't going anywhere. So if you want to minimize the number of kids who accidentally shoot themselves, if you want to minimize the number of adults who handle firearms incorrectly and end up accidentally shooting someone, what you need to do is allow the information of how to safely handle a firearm be spread to the public so that they understand it. It works because that's how I learned it. No one came to me and said, this is the safe way to do it. I went online, I was learning about firearms, and I learned from the people who are handling them responsibly how to responsibly handle a firearm.
Yes.
And as a result, I started creating videos and I started teaching people how to responsibly handle firearms. And then those people will start making their own videos and teaching people how to responsibly handle firearms. But instead, what we're getting with the dynamic of social media nowadays is they are trying to shut down all of the people who are demonstrating how to handle a firearm responsibly, or even just talking about the law aspect of it. So do you want people running around out there who don't understand the legal aspect of owning a firearm? Or how, when you actually decide to carry a firearm, when is a good time not to shoot? When is a good time to shoot? No, instead they shadow ban and block all of our content and only leave the negative representation out there and then wonder why all of these accidental shootings continue to happen.
And the negative ones find their way into my feed all the time from people that I don't follow.
Exactly.
So they must know what we were talking about today about that thing that you click on that says, do you still want to watch this?
Yeah.
This could be disturbing. So they know.
No, they know about it.
They know.
Yeah.
I watched a guy get cut in half by a train today. They were fucking around on the train station. The guy pushes his friend, and the train comes, and his friend goes in between the train and the crack and gets ripped apart. The guys grab his arms, they pull him, and it's just guts out of a torso. Jesus. And everyone's screaming. It's horrible. And it just showed up on my Instagram.
Yep, I see it all the time.
So if they have that warning They must know what that is. Does TikTok? I'm not on TikTok.
They banned me.
But they banned you?
Just for showing guns.
Wow.
Just for showing guns.
Does TikTok show violence? Do they have that kind of violence?
I don't know, honestly, because
You're banned.
because I was, and the fucked up thing about it is this. Like when I started the TikTok page, and you remember, TikTok is a younger audience. So
What's it skewed towards?
it's
Like
skewed to teens.
teens.
Yeah. So, but the thing about it is I can go on TikTok and watch girls engaged in suggestive sexual behavior all day long on TikTok.
Right. Right.
And I'm like, but anything with a firearm, regardless whether it's safe or not, they just banned me. Just flat out. And I'm like, what did I do exactly here?
Is there is that anyone on TikTok that shows firearms, or is it everyone gets banned?
I'm assuming so. I don't know because I can't peruse it and figure out
Right.
what else is on there, because even when I tried to I tried to appeal this decision, and then it just reaffirmed it. And so it's one of those things that's very frustrating.